Welcome back to our channel here at Living in Niagara. And if you are thinking of moving to the Niagara region, then you're going to want to watch today's video because we're going to introduce you to the border town of Fort Erie. Here I am in Fort Erie right now. You can see the Peace Bridge behind me, the Niagara River here to my side, and just over here is Fort Erie. From the Peace Bridge to the old war Fort Erie. From the fast-flowing Niagara River to the calm, peaceful beaches of Lake Erie. Fort Erie is a unique town, a unique city. And partway through today's video, I'm going to share with you what makes it really unique, which is going to shock you and surprise you. And it's not its close proximity to Buffalo. I'm Scott White, and along with my wife Ellen, we make up the realtors of the Living in Niagara with Ellen and Scott Realty team. And we get calls almost every single day from people just like yourself who are thinking or considering a move to the Niagara region. And that's why we have created this channel, to help you and all of our friends and acquaintances to make that decision, whether you're moving from the GTA or London, Ontario, Ottawa, or anywhere here in Ontario, Canada, or even the world. We want you to enjoy our videos, learn all about the Niagara region, to discover for yourself whether it is the place of your dreams, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want to share it all. We don't just want to share the good stuff to make you want to move. We want to share all the information so that you can make the very best educated decision for yourself to decide whether the Niagara region, whether it be Fort Erie or the Niagara Falls or St. Catharines, Grimsby, Port Colborne, Wainfleet, if you even know where that is, Thorold or Welland is really the place of your dreams. If that happens to be you and you're thinking of making such a move in the next 9 days or 9 months or beyond, please do not hesitate to reach out, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or you can even hit that QR code and set up a Zoom virtual meeting to meet with us, ask us any question to help us help you make this move stress-free. If you like today's video, if you do find it informative and maybe even educational, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and even turn on your notifications so that you might be one of the very first people to hear of anything happening here in the Niagara region. And hey, if you know somebody else who is thinking of making a move to the Niagara region, we would really greatly appreciate it if you shared this video and others with them. But today, we are going to look at Fort Erie. One of the things that makes Fort Erie unique is, of course, it is the gateway to Niagara region from the United States. The Peace Bridge right here is one of the most trafficked bridges in all of Canada. More traffic crosses that bridge. I don't know if you can see it. It's backed up right now. Trucks backed all the way across the whole bridge. The Peace Bridge was built in 1927, just after World War I, and it was named the Peace Bridge because it was a symbol of the peace that we've experienced between us and the United States since the War of 1812. The longest unprotected border in the entire world. It was also a symbol of lasting peace, hopefully just after World War I. It still sits today as a symbol of that peace. Despite the challenges that we are currently having with our neighbors to the south, I don't remember ever in my lifetime the stress and anxiety that has developed between us as neighbors, but we still are a very peaceful nation, side by side. We may have our odds, we may be having our differences right now, but on the most part, we do get along really well. Even now, they do. And this bridge represents that peace, that camaraderie, that workmanship that we have with our neighbor to the south, even when we don't see eye to eye. This bridge and this city across the way, Buffalo, has a significant aspect to the lifestyle and vibe of Fort Erie. A lot of people live here in Fort Erie and they commute across the bridge over to Fort Erie for work every single day. Buffalo is a major city and has all the amenities of a major city. So if that happens to be one of your interests, if you do not want to give up that city life and the nightlife and the activities that comes with being a part of a major city, then Fort Erie may be the exact place you want to move to here in the Niagara region, because right across there, yeah, you have to cross the border, and usually that's a very simple, easy task in order to get over there to enjoy all the amenities. They have Broadway productions over there. They have the NFL. You want to catch an NFL game? Let me tell you, tailgating for a Buffalo Bills game is an experience that every sports fan should have at one point in their life. NHL, the Buffalo Sabres. When I was growing up, I grew up in Port Colborne, which is just 20-30 minutes down Highway 3 from Fort Erie. And when I was growing up, not very many people had cable television. Actually, my mom worked for, I think it was Cogeco, or was it Rogers? My mother worked for the cable company back when I was a kid, for a period of time anyway, and for the first time we had cable TV. But before that, all we had was free airwaves, antenna TV, right? And that gave us just a handful of TV stations. And the best stations that we were able to get, the clearest stations, came from over there, came from Buffalo. So we got all the Buffalo news, all the Buffalo programming, and of course, all the Buffalo sports. I grew up in the 80s, and there was a great rivalry between Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. And even to this day, it annoys me to listen to Buffalo news talk and praise and build up their Sabres against my Leafs. So with that experience growing up, I came to have a dislike, could I say it that way, of all professional sports teams from the other side of the river. So it doesn't matter who the Buffalo Bills are playing, who the Sabres are playing, I always root for the other team as long as they lose. Don't hold that against me. If you're a Sabres fan or a Bills fan, that's great, good on you. But that's my experience living so close to the border here growing up. And that gives you an idea of how Buffalo has an effect on the lifestyle living of those here in Fort Erie. But now, let's get on to the rest of today's video. We are going to do a neighborhood tour of this city. I'm going to take you right into the city. I'm going to show you some of its neighborhoods, talk about the real estate, show you what kind of houses are available in the area, what you can expect if you look at moving here. We're going to tour some older neighborhoods along the waterfront here, brand new neighborhoods. And I'm also going to take you into some cheaper areas, places that other people are not going to necessarily show you because that's not the nicest places of the city. Because once again, we're here not just to share with you the best of the best, we want to help you make the very best decision that you can make with all the information. Well, I'll show you around the city, what makes the city special, some of the places to go and hang out and check out, some of the activities that happen in the city of Fort Erie to help you begin to make that decision. So right now, as you can see, we are right here along the Niagara River. Along the Niagara Boulevard, there are some beautiful houses. So let's take a look at this neighborhood first before we go into any other parts of Fort Erie. So here, this is the most expensive real estate in Fort Erie. Lakeshore Road runs all the way along the Niagara River, turns into the Niagara Parkway on the other side of the Peace Bridge, which is also more expensive living than anywhere else in Fort Erie. And you can see why. Right here along the river, beautiful river views. Here, not only do you see the river, you go across over to Buffalo, you can see the Buffalo City skyline. And we have a house right here that is currently for sale. It is a 6-bedroom, 2+1 bath, 4,800 square foot home overlooking the mighty Niagara River on a lot size, get this, of 60 by 660 square feet. It comes complete with an in-ground pool, 2.5 bath home, and it is listed right now for $1,729,900. That's what your typical homes are going to be going for along the Niagara River here on Lake Shore and then over on the Niagara Parkway. Most of them are going to be over $1 million. However, there are some homes that are further down here by Fort Erie Beach that are on this roadway. One house is selling for around $580,000. In that particular area, there's houses on both sides of the street, and so the houses not on the riverfront side are running around $600,000. Those on the Riverside are always into the millions or above. We have this house here right along the river. This is an over 2,000 square foot home with 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. And as you can see here, 2 bedrooms look out over the Niagara River with balconies so you can wake up in the morning, get your coffee, look out over the river. It also comes with a double car garage and complete with a barn. Yes, you heard me, a barn, 2-story barn out in the back, because the lot size is 75 by 115 square feet. See the barn back there? Right here, looking out over the river. Here we are now on a very typical street and neighborhood here in Fort Erie. Older homes, the homes in this area were built around 1956. And yeah, there are some newer subdivisions. I'll show you one of those in a few seconds here. But mature trees, older neighborhood, quaint, safe neighborhood. Homes around here are selling in around the $500,000 mark, $550,000 or less. Homes like you see here all around us, and especially the home here behind me, that there is a charming 2-story, 1,650 square foot home on a lot size of 50 by 150 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and that one was built in 1956, and it does need some updating, but it's a quaint little house, charming little house inside. You'd want to do some updating as time progressed, but it wouldn't have to be done right away if you could live with the older style of kitchen, etc. But that is very typical of what you're going to get here in Fort Erie, ranging from older homes with need to be updating and newer homes and updated homes. It all depends what you're looking for and the price point you're looking for. But this is very typical street here in Fort Erie of what you can get here in this lovely little city. So are you guys ready for another Scot White nostalgia story? If so, please hit the thumbs up button. And while you're thinking of hitting that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, would you? What are the things that you are looking for in your new city? What are some things that you want to know about the Niagara region that we haven't yet covered? Please, we would like to hear from you, how we can help, what we can look for, and answer any and all questions that you have, whether it's Fort Erie or any other city here in the Niagara region. So while you're thinking about that, let me share with you another one of my stories. Growing up here in the Niagara region, my best friend in Port Colborne, his family moved here to Fort Erie in about grade 3. And as such, I came to visit him on a regular basis. We would stay over at each other's homes overnight, for weekends, even entire weeks during the summertime. And I remember one time, it was winter. All this was covered in snow and ice. And as you can see, hopefully you can see, down here is a little creek. His house was up the hill of this creek. I can't go there now because it's not his house anymore. I don't want to knock on someone stranger's door and say, hey, can I go to your backyard and take a video to tell my YouTube friends a story when I was a kid? So I'm here at the bottom of the hill. And it was cold. It was all snow covered and frozen. And my buddy and I, Todd and I, got this idea of making a bobsled run. Following into the trees and the bush, we made this ice run. And then we got our toboggans and we were racing down this thing. It was nuts. I remember though, we were having a great deal of fun. And we come walking up the top of the hill to the top of his backyard, and there are 2 police officers. And his mom and dad weren't home. We were doing this on our own, and they came over and said, we got some complaints of some kids dangerously running toboggans down this hill. Would you know anything about it? Todd and I looked at each other, toboggans in hand, like as if they didn't know it was us who was doing that. And of course we said, we're doing that. And we said, come take a look what we did. So we showed them this rather intricate, and it was weaving around trees actually. They told us that we couldn't do that and stood at the top of the hill and watched us with shovels destroy our toboggan run or our bobsled run. Looking back at the age I am today, I'm kind of maybe glad the police came to tell us to stop, because who knows, I might not be here had they had not done that. So just one of my memories of living and growing up here in the Niagara region and hanging out with my friend here in Fort Erie. I hope you enjoyed it. Here I am out in front of the historic Anglican church here in Fort Erie. I wanted to stop by and share this beautiful piece of historic architecture, because this building does represent the historical aspect of Fort Erie. That does bring into consideration the vibe of life here when you're living in such a historic city with a myriad of historical buildings and artifacts. The old Fort Erie is also here to be toured and reminisce about as well in that regard. And there are houses here in Fort Erie with the same stone structure. You can, if you're lucky enough to find one, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, they come up for sale once in a while, historic buildings here in Fort Erie. So that is one of the great vibes and feelings of the city, that history, that connection that people have because of that history. Here we are along the waterfront here, still in Fort Erie. This is a historic retail restaurant section of Fort Erie. This place, Happy Jack's, I remember it when I was a kid. Yeah, 1967, family owned since 1967. Sadly enough, however, this area does tend to be a little more run down than other parts of Fort Erie. It always has been. It has never been a really popular place for people to hang out. It doesn't feel overly safe as well. Homes in the area are going to be in around that Fort Erie average or below. There is a big Texas dance club for some nightlife in Fort Erie, but its reputation isn't the best, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna come off this little stretch and come into this neighborhood close by and show you a couple of homes that are for sale here. They are, as I said, are running under the average of the Fort Erie homes, and that is around $500,000, depending exactly when you're looking at. Right now, today, when I looked up, the average price is $483,000. A couple of weeks ago, it was around $500,000. Last month, it was a little less than $483,000. So it is tending to sneak up a little bit over the past little while, but they are still very affordable homes. So we can see in this neighborhood of Fort Erie, more houses for rent, not in that great of shape, not really well taken care of. It is a lower price point of homes here in the Niagara region and in Fort Erie. So this isn't the most sought after area of Fort Erie, if I can say it that way. I wouldn't say it's an overly unsafe area. Looking at a first-time home buyer, you can get affordable homes here. So before we head off to our next neighborhood here in Fort Erie, I thought I'd show you to Garrison Road, or Highway 3. Highway 3 is another major arterial road in Fort Erie, actually in Ontario. It can take you from the Peace Bridge all the way over to and the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor. And this is a major retail location for Fort Erie. So as you can see, there's Canadian Tire, there's a Sobeys, there's a couple bingos that run along here. They've been running bingo here for many years. Before it was legal in the States. They were doing bingo here and catering to the Americans. There still is a American style bingo hall here that has Uncle Sam on the roof. But this is Garrison Road or Highway 3. Gives you a good idea of what this type of shopping area is like. And I also have to mention right behind me, the barrel. It's not on our gem of the day. It goes way, way back. It was here when I was a kid. It was a really great hot spot for those of us when we were teenagers, able to drive. We'd oftentimes come here and hang out and get some pizza here at the barrel. So it still is around, and it's a little bit nostalgic for me. If it was that time of the day and I had my wife with me, we'd probably go in there and have a bite to eat. So now let's go and take a look at some of the other neighborhoods here in Fort Erie. So as I said, here we are in a brand new subdivision here in Fort Erie to give you an idea of what these houses are going for if you're looking for brand new builds. Not very far from Highway 3, just one block over to that way over there. And these are the homes that you can see, all built here by Mountain View Homes. This house here is currently on the market. This is actually a resale home, and it is a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, 2,400 square feet on a 48 by 108 foot lot. Brand new build, beautiful finishes inside, and it is asking price of $799. That is one house here. There's another house here along here because they range from around $1 million to $750,000, $799,000 to this house here that we're coming up for $950,000. So this house here is also on the market, currently on the market. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,560 square foot living space, unfinished basement, double garage, brand new home with a lot of upgrades. The lot size is a little bit smaller. It's a corner lot, so it's 103 by 108 feet. And as I said, it is asking price of $950,000. So that gives you a kind of an idea of what brand new houses in a brand new subdivision here in Fort Erie will cost you, around $800,000 to $950,000 or about $1 million. We began our tour at the main stretch on Highway 3 with the big shopping stores and main restaurants and stuff like that on Highway 3 here in Fort Erie. And we're going to end our tour today here at Bridgeburg, the historic part of Fort Erie and its historic downtown. Here in the historic downtown, we have the old courthouse. It has moved from here. Now it houses the post office, but it's a quaint little shopping area with some boutique shops, some nice little restaurants. The Waffle Bandit, where of course you can get waffles and a whole lot more. You can get corn dogs, but the hot dog is wrapped up in a waffle. A unique little thing to get here. There's a thrift store, heirloom plates, and sushi. A bunch of nice little shops down here, and this is actually where we are going to end our tour, and I'm going to introduce you to our local gem right here in Bridgeburg in the downtown historic core of Fort Erie. So here we are at today's local gem, the Manic Maker. A great little coffee shop. It sells more than coffee. You get donuts, croissants, ice cream. As the sign says, you can get candy in here. It's a really local hotspot. People like to come in here, sit down, chill out, socialize. It's a great little vibe inside. So let's go inside, order myself my little treat, see what we're gonna get. You can get yourself your coffee, your tea, or your favorite drink, and then we'll meet out here and sum up today's video. So I was just talking to the owner, a lovely lady. She tells me how she started this coffee shop with these dried candies, first of all. She started making these dried candies after her eldest son died from muscular dystrophy. She was doing some fundraisers, etc., for muscular dystrophy, and it just snowballed. She started making these candies. Then she got this spot here on Jarvis Street in Fort Erie and opened up this coffee shop just over 2 years ago. And she tells me how it's a great community, and after over 2 years of doing business here, she's never had a bad customer. She loves the vibe and the community that she has here. This is a great place to make friends. She tells me how it was really neat to see people coming here on a regular basis, and they would sit in their individual seats, listen or look on their phones, and as time went on, they would come in every single day or week, whatever, and now they come together and they meet at the same time, and a group of them, 4 or 5 guys or women, and they sit down in their chair, they sit down on the table, and they talk about old times here in Fort Erie, and they're no longer strangers, they're friends. That's the vibe that this place has. So if you find yourself moving here to Fort Erie, you have to come and visit the Manic Maker. So what did I get for myself today as my special treat? Well, if you watched any of my videos, you could probably guess. A nice chai tea latte. Still a warm day today, and I thought I'd go for a refreshing Scot white drink, iced chai tea. And then I saw these donuts here, a cherry twist. I haven't seen a cherry twist donut since I was maybe 10 years old, so I had to go for a cherry twist donut. So I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video, even right here to the end. I hope you liked today's local gem. And if you find yourself here in Fort Erie, you gotta check this place out. Come meet the owner, talk to her. She will share you her story and make you feel at home. If you enjoyed today's video, we would really appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing, and turning on your notifications even, so that you can be one of the very first people to hear of anything happening here in the Niagara region. So with no further ado, I'm going to say farewell. We'll catch you in the next video, and I'm going to indulge myself in my cherry twist. Memories and nostalgia.